So Duncan, what was your first impression of Manchester, and is there anything that surprised you since you've been here?
So I started coming to Manchester in the late 1980s, and in fact, one of the first gigs I ever saw in Manchester was at the Apollo. Billy Bragg, Johnny Marr, Andy Rourke, and it had this amazing energy, amazing sort of vibe in Manchester at the time, even though it was a bit of a rougher place back in the 80s. I mean, you grew up here, so you know that. But coming back, that energy was still here. Like, it's this really distinctive feeling in Manchester. But of course, the city's been transformed beyond imagination.
Yeah, and how do you think our cultural institutions feed into that?
I think it's massive. You know, I've said to people, we'd be lucky to have one of our cultural institutions, like, you know, the museum, for example, but to have four: the museum, the gallery, Jodrell, Rylands Library. You know, cultural institutions connect people to the city and to the university in unique ways. You know, a lot of people who visit our cultural institutions wouldn't come to the university otherwise. So it serves as this, you know, they're connecting to this amazing history in the city, they're enjoying the artifacts, they're learning about the city, but then hopefully they're learning a bit about us as well. It's one of the things that makes the University of Manchester distinctive in the country. I don't know too many universities that have four amazing institutions like ours.
Yeah, they're very much the front door to the
university.
They are,
exactly.
People.
Exactly.
So how important is the relationship between the university and the city, and how do they interact and overlap day to day?
So look, it's massively important to us. And in a nutshell, I'd say that the success of the university depends on the success of the city. And I also think the success of the city really depends on the success of the university as well. You know, Manchester's a great example of a city region that's put universities as the heart of its growth strategy. And, you know, you can see the result of that over the last 20 years, unique in the country, I think. Yeah, we work the city on a daily basis. I mean, I'm here often meeting with Bev, Craig, the council leader, Andy Burnham, the mayor, and a whole bunch of other officials and other parts of the city council.
There's loads of amazing partnerships right across the culture institutions and the university. Why do you think those local partnerships are so important as well?
Look, everything we want to do over the next 10 years is going to involve us being a great partner and also having great partners to work with. They give us lots of opportunities that we wouldn't otherwise have for our students, for our colleagues, for our staff. They give us new questions. They give our students a chance to try things they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. You know, we want our students to not just have a great time when they're here, but then when they graduate to stay in Manchester. So our local businesses, local cultural institutions, local organizations connect our students with the city, but also connect us with the city in all kinds of ways.
Yeah. So I don't think most people will appreciate the scale of the research that goes on here at the university. Could you tell us a little bit about how that's having a real impact on people's lives here in Manchester?
Well, I mean, the University of Manchester is big, right? Which means we can bring our disciplines together in ways that other institutions can't. And that scale is really highly correlated to advancing science and discovery. So here we are in the Patterson Institute, focused on research in cancer. And of course, cancer is something that touches all of us. I know it's touched my family in all kinds of ways very directly, as I'm sure it has other people who are watching. So what happens here is we're doing amazing basic science here, exploring the mechanism of cancer, but we're right next door to the Christie Hospital, actually connected to the Christie Hospital, which is one of the world's leading cancer hospitals. And we're across the road in the Manchester Cancer Research Centre, which interdisciplinary research centre that the university supports. So that's unique. There aren't too many places that can bring together basic research that informs the actual treatment that patients from around Manchester and around Europe and around the world are coming to receive right here. So I think that's quite special.
So looking forward, what role do you want the university to play in the city's future?
Well, look, we want to be at the heart of the city's future. You know, our success really depends on the success of the city. And the success of the city, I hope, they feel that it also relies on our success as well. And you know, the tagline of our strategy for the next 10 years is from Manchester for the world. So we want to take what we're doing in Manchester, all the amazing things we're doing together with the city, and also take that to the world so the world can get to know Manchester as well.